Yo, what's good, YouTube? It's Rage Rail. So in today's video, I want to show you guys potentially the best three-man blitz in Madden 25. So if you enjoyed this video, go and drop a like on the video right now. Go ahead and sub and turn post notifications on. So I just want to start off by saying I said potentially for a reason, because this blitz works the best when you're on all pro competitive. So in a sense, your normal online style of games. Now there are some people who do tournaments or who might do other game modes where you play All-Madden. So it's not that you can't use this for All-Madden. So I want to clarify that. It's not that you can't. It's just not that consistent for what I'm trying to show you. But the 4-man blitz out of this is very consistent. You can use this on All-Madden. It's just the 3-man that I'm talking about. So what I want to do is just to tell you, first of all, I am in the Ravens defensive playbook. Again, I'm in the Ravens defensive playbook. And as you can tell, we're talking about this dime 1-4, and the most important position is this position right here, and it's kind of what I need you guys help on as far as how to make this more efficient. So I'm gonna put on display everything that I found out, then I'm gonna show you some gameplay to support it, and then I would love to hear from you guys in the comments about you playing around with this and seeing if we can actually make this very, very glitchy. And I'll show you everything that I have now to kind of save you a lot of time and a lot of legwork. So in a sense, I'm going to show you this real quick. I'm going to show you a quick gameplay clip of it working. And then I'm going to show you versus All Pro, and I'm going to show you versus All Madden so you can see the difference. And that's kind of where we are on this. So anyways, what we want to make sure first is that your auto flip is turned off. So do not have this on. Make sure it's off. Now you want to do it out of this cover 4 drop. Now the reason you want this auto flip off, if you look, if I flip it, notice what happens. If y'all seen the D tackle, now he's slanting to the right. Now if I flip it, he's slanting to the left. So you want him always slanting to the left. So, and we're talking about that cover 4 drop also. So we're just gonna come out in random formation. It literally doesn't matter what we run. We'll just run spot wide cross since the running back's getting out of there, just so I can show you the concept. Now this will work with the running back trying to block, which is why this blitz is crazy. But all we're gonna do is we're gonna take this guy out here, we're gonna blitz him. Now I found the most success when you put him either on the numbers or outside the numbers, depending on where you are on the field, and we'll talk about that in a second. Now you want to slant your D-line to the left. So we'll try to see if so now notice the angle change, and I'm talking about this guy. If you notice the angle change, now very important you follow these next steps, because this is what I've learned. The term is this blitz. Okay, so where you stand actually matters a whole lot with this particular one. So if you're too close, it's not going to work. So if you're right here, you're too close. Even if I take a step back, you're still too close. You want to kind of just, I'll try to tell you gauge it where you just come up, and about right here is good. Or if you're back here, maybe you can go 1 click, 2 clicks, 3 clicks to back up a little more. So that might help you a little bit too. And the next thing is I found the most success whenever I stand with my, you see his right shoulder on speed. If his right shoulder, if you can kind of make it be on the 0, if that makes sense. You see how it's 60 right in front of him. If you can kind of put his right shoulder on the 0, then I found it to be most successful. So this is probably the other important part. You just need to hold L2 and press nothing else. So in other words, not the one that pulls up your play, but the other one for L2. So if you just hold it and don't touch anything after the snap, literally don't touch nothing. So here I'll show you what I'm talking about. So notice that he takes that. Notice how the left guard kind of gets dumbed out a little bit. I think we took too long, which is why it didn't come in like we like. But I want you to watch something here. So when we hold L2, just watch this guard. Just kind of watch how he kind of does this little weird little angle right here. That's what you're looking for, because normally when that happens, this guy's going to come straight free, because he's going to auto lock on our blitzer out here, and it's going to open up this guy. So I think our time was just a little bit off, so that's why he kind of like was able to recover. But either way, you can tell we get this guy to come through on a loop, which is why I said that the 4-man out of this is perfect, because it'll work this way every time. And I'll show you a little small scheme if you want to use this 4-man blitz. It's very, very effective. Okay, but I'm trying to show you this 3-man. All right, which is why I said that those of y'all that still like this, you can still stick around. I got gameplay to support it anyways. But you want to, where you stand matters a whole lot. If you can figure out exactly where to put your user at every time, then this blitz is just crazy. So I think it's about right here might be the sweet spot. And again, I'm not going to press nothing. I'm just going to hold L2, and then as you can tell, boom. So that's literally what we're looking for. I'm going to show you a replay real quick, then I'm going to show you a gameplay clip of me doing it in game, just so you know it works. And now, like I said, notice that he kind of gets dumbed out. This is the animation we're looking for, and then he's just not going to be able to recover. And this is where this blitz just get crazy at. So go ahead and check out this gameplay clip. So as you can see, it works very well in game. Now, I know it was only one play, but I just wanted to show y'all, like, hey, like, you really can use this in game. It just really matters on where you stand. And I'll show you guys some more gameplay. I might do a separate video, or I may have time to squeeze it on here with a couple more clips. But in a sense, all you literally going to do is just stand right. I move the ball to the middle just so you can see. So we'll try to get the same spot again. So about right here, maybe. Hold L2, that's it. So you just literally want to hold it, that's all. And then notice he gets like a little dumb out animation, and then we're able to get it again for the same style of blitz. So we'll do it one more time before we start talking about variations. We start looking at stats and stuff like that, and we start swapping people out as far as the linemen, just to see if we can get it again for the third time. So this might be the sweet spot. So all I'm doing is holding L2, and then notice that he didn't dumb out right there, but we still get a great kind of pass rush by our cornerback. So one more time, because I am ignorant, so I want to get it again before we dive further into this. So anyways, all we're gonna do is just hold it right here. I don't think this is the sweet spot, but we'll see. So notice that he didn't get through, but we just get two great bull rush animations, which is why I said that this little play is just that glitchy. But anyways, one of the things I want to do is we'll go to another formation. So let's just go to something like, I don't know, tight open, and what we'll do is we'll take the best offensive lineman they have, which is Sewell, and then we're gonna put him right here, and then we'll actually take 60 out, and we'll put him with the second best offensive lineman they have, which is this guy right here. And I'm only doing this so that way you guys can understand that it's not necessarily a overall type of thing. It's literally, I think it's just a bug in the game. So we'll go bench dig pivot just because, and again we'll go to cover 4 drop, and we'll flip it this way. So remember, just slant your line left, and it was in these type of formations. I don't normally like to put them. Well, you can put them here, but I would probably put them. I probably put them outside right here. Now that doesn't really matter from what I can tell, but what matters the most is where you stand. That matters a whole lot. So let's see if we can get it to come in with one of the best offensive tackles in the game. So we'll hold it just like this. Go ahead and snap the ball, and as you can tell, boom, he's going to be able to scream. And like I said, it's not a overall based thing. So again, as you can tell, it just matters on where you are. And let's go ahead and swap them around, actually, so that way you guys can tell, because you might be like, well, this only works because of, you know, him being the best guy being on the left, if that makes sense. So we'll go ahead and put him in the middle, and then we'll go ahead and put him on the outside. So we just swap their positions, so that way you can tell it's not like, it's not an overall based thing. It's just this game is very glitchy, and this potential setup right here can really just dominate, I think. So if it works against him at left guard, we know we have something, because this is one of the best offensive linemen in the game. So let's try to stand right here, see if we can get it. And then unfortunately right there, he actually did react a little faster, but we'll see if we were just out of place, because it matters that much on this game. And I'll show you if they try to slide their line and all that. We'll take a look at that too. So let's see if we can get a good spot right here. So I think we're good about right here. And again, this is the hardest part about this, is just standing in the right place. As you can tell, even though it didn't come in, we were still able to get the outside pressure. And I'm gonna try it one more time before I start talking to you guys about some other things that you can do. We still got to take a look at it versus All-Madden. So we got a lot to talk about here. So we'll stand right here. Let's see if we can get it. Oh, we were so close on that one, but you can tell we still have our cornerback screaming. So we'll try maybe 2 more times, and we might be able to just say, hey, after a certain threshold for the offensive lineman, whoever is in that left guard spot, determines how, you know, the blitz will come in. So as you can tell, it's like he's getting there, but he's getting caught up. So y'all play around with this. I'm gonna try one more time before we just move on. But it seems like putting the best offensive guard there, there's a certain threshold that the offensive line has to have, or they're gonna get dumbed out. But that's what I rely on you guys for. So boom, right there. Okay, so maybe it might not be. So maybe it might be just literally where you stand, because that's the best, one of the best tackles in the game. As you can tell, that's the animation we're looking for. We're looking for him to get dumbed out, which is a great thing, which means that as long as this guy meets a certain threshold, we're going to be able to get it in. Now, some of you guys might be wondering, like, Real, why'd you even say 3-man? What do you mean by 3-man? So the whole point of the 3-man is, how I would do it is, you want to put an athlete right here. So you don't want to put Buckner here. So let's go ahead, let's go ahead and do it now while we're talking about it. Okay. So if you want to do a 3-man out of this, then I would recommend, with this formation, you can actually put your ends at D tackle. So I would actually recommend you put your most athletic in right here. So I'll go ahead and do that now, and just whoever your other guy is, if you got a great dominant D tackle, actually you can't in this one, so don't worry about it. But I would probably put him right there, and I would probably, it don't really matter at this point. All right, so just showing y'all for example. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna come out, go for a drop. We're gonna go to bench, dig, pivot, and all you're gonna do if you want to get a good 3-man in for this, all you need to do is just go ahead and spy this guy, and then go ahead and just hover right here. So go ahead and spy him and then hover, and as long as you can stand in the same spot, we should still be able to glitch him out with the 3-man. Just be very careful that if it doesn't come through, the pass rush isn't going to be as great, but as you can tell, we can still get that 3-man through. So remember, this is one of the best offensive tackles in the game, so that's why it may not come in like we'd like it to, but you want to go ahead and stand right here. Now sometimes if you can stand in the right place, you can go ahead and afford to blitz your user, but you need to be standing in the right place. Let's see if I can show you that time. So notice how he's still going to be able to come through. So you can blitz your user. I would only recommend blitzing your user if you're sending a 3-man blitz, okay? So notice right here with the 3-man pressure that we're still going to be able to get a great bull rush animation, and we have a spy. So when they see that bull rush animation, a lot of times they're going to try to step up in the pocket, or they're going to try to escape this way, and then that's when you're going to go ahead and send your spy, okay? And notice I didn't talk about anything with coverage yet. I'm just simply showing you this blitz, and I'll show you one more time with the 3-man. See if we can get it through. And again, if you're going to do a 3-man, I recommend spying your D tackle. Go ahead and blitz him. Try to stand in the same spot that you've been standing in, but just blitz him instead. Just when you blitz him, sometimes it's less consistent, but as you can tell right there, we are able to get him straight on the outside. So I want to talk to y'all about variations real quick before we move into All-Madden stuff. So how else I would run this? So how I like to run this, I'd also run it this way, where I'll spy that guy right here, and then I'll take him and I'll actually blitz him also. So I like to do this whenever I notice that they're trying to actually I messed up the setup, so let me go ahead and it'll still come in, but I want to go ahead and redo this setup, and boom, as you can tell, we still get the guy to scream. But with this setup right here, let's go ahead and press, because sometimes pressing helps too. You want to go ahead and blitz him and just leave him. Now the reason why, look at that angle on the right. So you see the right of screen, the slot corner, notice that angle. So if I move him, he actually gets on a different angle, if you notice. So now I can't get that angle back. So if you're going to blitz him, keep him on that angle. But this is still how I like to set it up. So we're only blitzing 4 people at this point. So I like doing this when they're trying to slide their line. They're trying to account for what we're doing. That's when I'll come in and I'll do this right here. And then boom, we are still going to get the blitz. So like I said, man, you can tell this stuff is just very glitchy. This is all pro, okay? All pro. And you can tell we're going to get that little speed rush animation. Now, I want to show you one more time with the actual other side. So sometimes I like to bluff it. And what I mean by that is I'll set up something like this, and I'll go ahead and blitz him. And when you blitz him, he'll keep that angle. And you want to still slant your line to the left. So I like doing this whenever they're trying to oversell for this left side. And then what's going to happen on this right side, I still like to stand in the same spot, do the same thing, and then look at that right side. So we're going to be able to get the right side pressure on this, and that's why I said you can really just run this defense kind of crazy. So one of the things I like to do too, last thing before we start, before I move on from this concept, I like to put auto flip on sometimes, and then excuse me, not auto flip, Lord Jesus, not auto flip, auto alignment, and you want to put it on base, and this will kind of help them stand in a good spot. So we'll go to different formations. So let's go to something like trips. We'll go verticals just because. And with the base align, we're still going to slant left, but just keep in mind, we're going to move him out here. We can do the same concept, but right here, you want to move him first. Wherever you move him, you want to move him and then go ahead and blitz him. And then that's how you get that angle right there. So I like base align because it puts him where I need them to play at. And then you're going to just hold here. And then at that point, as you can tell, he's going to get the loop. And then you can send it from the left, from the right. So when you're base aligned, it makes it a little easier. So I'll base align press, and I'll just show you this way. So sometimes you don't have to move the guy. You can literally just slant them to the left, and then you can run it just like this. It's just more consistent when you're able to move him. But you can tell, boom, we're still going to be able to loop. Or last thing, you can just leave that slot corner there, and you can just, so maybe if you run out of time, or maybe you just want a quick setup and then just play around with your coverage shells from this point, then you can just stand right here, and then you can tell we still get a great pass rush angle. So anyways, y'all, spent all that time just so you guys can see it on All Pro. But let's go ahead and switch over to All-Madden so that way you guys can get a better perspective. And not only am I going to switch over to All-Madden, I'm actually going to go to an actual Play Now game so that way you can see exactly what to expect. Alright, y'all, so normally, y'all know I normally show y'all heavy gameplay, but this time I'm showing y'all more offline but All-Madden competitive for our game. So that way you guys can see just how it works. So right here we are All-Madden competitive, and I forgot to mention this on the last video, but as far as the depth chart and who you want for this, so if you're going to use this, you want to go ahead and make sure you go to your rush left end, and that's where you're gonna so rush left end, rush right end is what you want. So what you look for in this, so what I found to be the most effective is looking at speed, looking at agility, and acceleration. So normally you want all those to be good. So Brian Burns would be somebody that's perfect. Now somebody who wouldn't be perfect, I would say, is somebody like this guy right here. He's just too slow. Well, actually he's 89 speed, excuse me, not him. But what I found is middle linebackers don't really work for some reason. It's good with your left outside, your right outside, or your right end, left end. So for some reason the right end, left ends work very good on here, but I wouldn't use him because he's just way too slow. But you don't want to use a middle linebacker. For some reason that does matter. I'm not sure why it matters, but I found it to be the least effective using them. So I would use Brian Burns. I would use this Fox guy. I would not use him. He's got 81 speed, but I would use Burns. I would use Thibodeau, and I would use let's see, that might be all that I might use. Yeah, I wouldn't really touch anybody else. So those would be the three that I would be looking for when I use this. So again, you want to make sure auto flip is off. So let's go to dime 1-4. So we got Burns there already, perfect. And you want to go ahead and make sure it is flipped. Now versus under center, I wouldn't recommend running this, but you definitely can. So we'll just go to something like wing slot offset. No idea if this is going to work against the wing slot, but we'll see right here. So again, you want to slant your line. Here we go. We'll see if we can find a sweet spot here. Hold L2, see if we can get it off in time. And as you can tell, this is All-Madden, and just notice that it just did not come in. See if we try it again. We'll try a different formation. Like I said, I'm showing y'all All-Madden for a reason, so that way I'm trying to save you guys some time if you want to go look into this yourself, which I highly recommend. Just don't try and expect this loop to come in for All-Madden, is why I'm taking time to show you this. So we'll stand right here. We'll see if we can find a sweet spot. We'll hold L2, and then we'll see if we can get it. And again, you just notice that like it's just not that effective, honestly. And that's why I never want to misguide y'all, never want to show y'all something that's bad. So I wouldn't say it's necessarily bad. It's just, as you can tell, it's not that consistent at all when it comes to All-Madden. So we'll see if we can get it again here, and if not, I'll show you guys how I use this online, and then that'll be the video. So we'll stand right here, see if we can get it. Can we get it? Nope. And like you said, that is no problem coming in. It's only whenever we're trying to get our actual loop to come in. So because it's fourth down, we'll try to put somebody else here. Sometimes it works better with the actual end, but I don't remember who's the fastest one we looked at. All of them are pretty slow. Better yet, let's go ahead and look at that real quick. Because if you're going to use this, if you're going to try it, for some reason just your ends work better in this. I don't know why. So the fastest end they have is gonna be, he's 73, he's 64. Yeah, so the fastest end they have is going to be Chapman, but I just personally think he's just, and that's 56 agility, 79 excel, so I don't think he'll even get the job done, but we'll try him just because. So let's just see if we can get it. If not, and then I want to show you guys some actual gameplay of me using this online, just so you can kind of see how I fared with it. But let's try a different formation. Let's try something like bunch open tight end. We'll go wide trail, why not? And again, just slant them left. See if we can get them. Oh, they're gonna give me a flag. All right, let's go ahead and throw that, and then yeah, anyways, let's go in. I want to show you guys online so you guys can kind of get the idea of what this is like yourself. All right, so we did get matched up against the Bills right here, and honestly, I love this gameplay because it shows kind of like what to expect when you run this thing online. The hardest opponents to run this against is the hurry up offense, the hurry up quick hike offense, which is why I actually chose this gameplay in particular. It was pretty difficult, as you can tell right there. He does find a great dot in the middle, and he is going to run this hurry up style offense. So if somebody's running hurry up offense, what I recommend, you can tell, you can actually get it set up pretty fast. This setup that you see is actually one of my favorites, where I actually put my safety in the hook, and then I put my other safety in the middle third, and essentially I go user to flats myself. That's one of my favorite kind of quick style adjustments, because what you'll find with this defense is that a lot of people, if they can't really stop this blitz, they'll start trying to just quick throw the streaks, or quick throw out routes, or quick throw, you know, quick throw streaks, quick throw verticals. They'll quick throw like a slant. So you'll find that they'll do stuff like this. So this is actually one of my other favorite setups, just to cover to that left side, because that left side is going to be the hardest part to try to adjust, because in a sense we're blitzing one person, so it's only, normally you're going to be outnumbered normally, and what that means is normally I only have 2 defenders that's covering plus my user. So I'm just going to kind of be out leveraged. So right here, for example, they have 3 threats over there. I only have 2. So that RPO would actually kill this defense. So not kill it, but you'd have to adjust. And you'll see how I like to adjust. So one of the adjustments I'll make is I'll slide my linebacker over there. And then I'll actually grab the other linebacker, which, as you can tell, the outside pressure still comes in. But every now and again, you'll still get that same little loop that we look for from our end. So a couple things I like to do is I grab the other guy sometimes, and I'll try to stand in the gap for him, but that one you got to get in a perfect angle, and sometimes you are susceptible to getting that thrown on you. So one of the things I recommend is going to practice mode, play around with who you'd like the user, how you'd like the defense to look. So now notice that I manned them up, and then we actually end up almost getting an interception right there. So you want to make sure you do have some safeties at linebacker, or you have a middle linebacker that's pretty fast. I think that guy has 90 speed, that's why I went ahead and kept him right there. But right here I'm testing it out with a safety. So this game was a lot about just testing out and seeing, like, okay, well, who can I actually use her with? Can I just, do I have to just stay with the linebacker? Can I grab another person to stand in the gap? You know, so this is kind of what this game is dedicated for. My opponent's doing a good job of finding all his dots, finding all his reads. It's right there. We are going to be able to stop him just short. But 2nd and 2, and I would not recommend, so please listen. Don't run this every single down. This is not an every single down defense. This is mainly just a pass-based defense. So if it's, you know, 3rd and manageable, or maybe you're facing an opponent who loves to pass the ball, then yes, run this. But if they're doing a good job mixing in the run, please don't run this. As you can tell, I mean, he's picking up, we're doing a pretty good job, but it's just not a defense you want to go in if they're going to be running the ball consistently at you. So it's one of those pass defenses, so just make sure you are aware of that. So just for transparency, I was just showing y'all the 2-point conversion here. So we did catch the interception, just in case you guys are wondering what happened if he missed a field goal or whatever. So, well, extra point, excuse me. But anyways, sometimes you don't even have to get it set up all the ways right there. We almost got in without even having to hover, which made him actually throw the ball a lot earlier than he wanted to, which did result in a pick, and we did end up going to score. So that's why it is 20. And now I kind of watch this drive right here. So this drive is actually a really, really important one. So he does find a nice dot over the middle, and again, my guy was the hurry up king. So most of the time you love facing people who like to make adjustments and come out in different things, but right there, like I said, he's seen it come in one time, and then he is going to hurry up, and this can be how effective it can be. So you really just need, you know, just about 3 seconds to adjust it, and that's why I wanted y'all to pay attention, because just wanted you to see, like, you can set this up very, very fast, but the hardest part is coverage shells and making sure you have the right numbers on the side that you want. That's probably the hardest part. So again, this is one of my favorites, just playing a simple cover 2, and then if I want to adjust my hard flats, I can. And as you can tell, that heat is coming, as you can see. So anyways, 4th down and 17. So I actually got my safety in the hook, and I actually switched X to be a mid read. That's why he kind of took out there, because he was playing that vert, which I did not want him to do. And unfortunately, if I would have left him in the hook, we would have got a pick, but me just trying to be too cute. Now I noticed he started sliding his line. Look at his line slide left, and when that starts to happen, that's when you want to go ahead and start mixing in your right side blitz. And when you start to see their offensive line doing a lot of weird stuff, I like to grab them, act like I'm blitzing them, widen out my guy just a little bit, blitz him, and then as you can tell, he's going to come in just because he's trying to account for the left side, and it's still a pretty fast blitz. So you can run this blitz however you want to, which is why, like I said, this defense is just pretty good. Now, like I said, I would only run this against this style of opponent who likes to pass the ball. As you can tell, he hasn't really ran the ball that much. Now, if they were doing a good job mixing in the run, this really isn't a viable defense. You definitely can slow down the run, but you can't stop it. It's right there. He misses his dot. But that's going to wrap it up for this video, though. I do pray you have a blessed day. I'm Rage Real, and I'm out.